All right. Episode 3. Just kidding. This is what? Episode 4?
Yes, episode 4.
Well, good. At least it's someone's keeping track. All right. So we saw Venom 3, but before we get into that, Soupy saw, which he's back, by the way. The big return of Soupy's back.
Welcome back. He's not canceled
Yep. He was
yet.
lost but
I,
not forgotten.
I don't really care if I was to ever get canceled, but okay.
That's our goal. Eventually, we're going to have Soupy get canceled.
Dude, I want to get big enough to get canceled because that means we made it.
Yep.
It's fair. Fair.
And we're doing something right.
But yeah, Soupy, you saw, and neither of the other of us saw it, but you saw Smile 2.
Yes.
So we want to add this to the collective tier list, but give us a quick review and then where you think it should go.
So, review-wise, compared to the first one, I would probably say I kind of liked the second one a little more than the first one. I mean, as I stated, they kind of have like a different style to them. I don't know if that was like different director. I didn't look into it, but overall, the movie was pretty good for a horror movie. I don't think it'll ever be as good as like Thanksgiving, because I actually did enjoy Thanksgiving more. But as for a horror movie, I would put it pretty high up there.
Yeah?
They did have a great twist towards the end. And I really did enjoy the factor of them playing with the mind of the main character for pretty much the whole movie with the smile demon. That did actually go really well.
When it
On top
comes
of it, she
to
also got pissed at her why can't I think of the dude, like her helper. At one point in the movie, he just goes and the demon makes her think that her black helper went and massacred the entire room that she had set up, her dressing room, and she just starts going off on him. And the whole movie, he's just been nice, good to her, everything. And then even the demon was just like, here, in this fake portion, he's still nice to you. And so you just get to watch some chick yell at a black dude for a good 2 minutes. It was hilarious.
we love relatable movies.
It was hilarious.
When it comes to horror, are you more of a slow burn kind of guy or a jump scare kind of guy?
Say more slow burn, right? You find jump scares funny most of the time, don't you?
I don't care too much for jump scares. I just find horror movies hilarious because no matter what situation it is, I feel like it's always unrealistic because the amount of people that could actually like fight back and they're always just running away doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. I sometimes find the slow burn to actually make it more scary because like the jumps sometimes make me take it less seriously.
Yeah.
But
I mean, they
is
did
a
have like one jump scare in Smile 2,
okay. Didn't the
and
first one have a
it
bunch?
was so weirdly placed that you didn't expect it. And I will give it to it. It was a good jump scare.
Okay. So it's well executed at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like in like movies like Scream and stuff like that, like the basic like slashers and stuff like that, the jump scares are always super like televised. Like they're popping up. It's like, oh, open the front door, and then someone goes and they like look out and they don't see anybody, so they go open it, and then it's no one's there, and then they shut the door and turn around, and then it's like, oh, he was right behind you the entire. It's like, all right, they get kind of campy, get super predictable.
Yeah. Cause So as far as the tier list goes in horror movies, we have in the good soup tier, we have both Long Legs and The Substance. And then I think Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey is in It's Ite, I think. And Terrifier 3 is in It's Ite as well.
Mm,
So let's see. Yeah. So that's kind of like horror. I guess I don't know if Alien counts as a horror, but
I think so.
that's also in the It's Ite tier.
trying to think. Where would I put it? Because if I'm being honest, I probably liked Long Legs a little bit better.
Are you trying
But
to decide if it's in the same tier?
I would say it's like at the bottom of like good soup, maybe.
Yeah, because that's the nice thing about tiers. Like, it's like a level. You pick kind of like what level of movie it
I'd
is.
probably say it's like a low good soup or like a high it's aight.
Do you want to
Okay.
share the? Would you mind sharing the
Yeah, I'll
screen
screen
that?
share.
I would just forget what we have, even though we put the tier list up on the YouTube. I always just
'Cause, like I'd probably put the first Smile on its aight and Smile 2 in good soup.
Okay.
Because I did like the second one a little bit better.
Yeah, I think that's been consensus. A lot of people have been saying that too. So that's at least good to hear.
The first one was kind of based off of them trying to figure out the demon. The second one was just the demon messing the crap out of people,
Yeah.
like screwing them up, and I honestly enjoyed that a little bit more.
And it's generally pretty rare that a sequel ends up being better than the original, so that's pretty good if it's at least that.
I don't know if ratings wise it is. Could look that up to see.
From what I've heard, it is. I think it's gotten much better scores than the first one, but
let's see. I can look on Rotten Tomatoes. Smile 2 has a 85 critic and 82 audience. As far as the first one has a 80% from critic and 77 from audience.
all right, so kind of comparable.
So yeah, it's close. It looks like it's slightly got the edge over it.
Yeah, well, very nice. We've been in a surprisingly good year of horror.
Yeah, it's been a.
That's because I think the funny thing is like every year has probably had about the same amount of horror movies. I think it's just because of how many terrible movies.
Oh, this genre is starting to stick out more.
Yes.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Yeah, I could see that. Like everything else, like action and stuff, is like going downhill. Horror movies,
Like the comic book movies suck. The comedies suck.
Yep.
I've seen a lot of people say that this one, The Substance with Demi Moore, is like the best movie of the year. I've seen a lot of people say that, and that's a horror. So it's.
I mean, it looks like this Speak No Evil with.
I heard that was good. I didn't see it, but it's a remake.
I didn't see it either. I'm just looking at what else has got like what are the other.
I mean, I could have asked Garrett because Garrett did go see Speak No Evil, but
yeah, I've heard good things. I haven't seen it though.
I mean, it's gotten 84% for both critic and audience.
He enjoyed it.
Oh, this is so funny.
And that's a really good actor.
Joker has a 32% for both critic and audience. And
that's high. That's really high.
Yeah, I'd kind of agree with that. But I do find it funny that like for Speak No Evil and Joker, they both agree that it's either high or low. But anyways.
Yeah. That's a hacky website. Like
that's true.
Rotten Tomatoes is owned by, I can't remember which studio, but it's owned by a Hollywood studio. So you quite literally can't take what they say on there. But
yeah.
All right. Speaking of sequels, and you guys might have to help me because I already forgot the entire movie, but we saw Venom 3.
Yeah.
Pretty much the movie opens up with Null, and he's chained up by all of the other symbiotes, and he decides that it's time to be a bad guy in this universe, And so he sends him to Earth. And you know what I realized? It's a chase movie. Like, people should know that going in.
Mhm.
Chase movies is like its own subgenre at this point. Like, there's a lot of action movies there. It's the entire movie is just someone being chased by someone else.
Yeah.
Like, The Revenant is kind of a chase movie. Last of the Mohicans, Apocalypto. The only difference is those are all pretty good.
Mhm.
But, yeah, this Knoll guy is able to see him because he has the Frodo Baggins effect. He puts on the ring, then the evil can see him. When he takes off the ring, they can't see him.
Yeah. The ring
what-
in this instance being the Venom suit.
Yeah. Was it called the Codex?
Yeah, they called
Yes.
it the Codex.
Yeah. Which I was confused. I thought that was something in the MCU. Wasn't there something in the MCU called the Codex?
Probably.
I had forgotten if it sounds like an MCU term, so I don't know. Forgive my ignorance there.
You know
but
what?
maybe it is.
Actually, no. I think it's in Man of Steel.
That's right. No, yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
For
I'm
some
sure-
reason, I was thinking the Tesseract, but that's different. That's not.
I'm
the-
sure that they've probably like named something the Codex in a Marvel movie before, but obviously it probably wasn't a big plot point or anything.
Yeah.
But
So essentially, yeah, they're chasing him. These weird, massive aliens that aren't necessarily Venoms, but they can still regenerate. They're
Yeah.
chasing him, and he's
mouth-
got to run away from them. But there's the
Yeah.
caveat that he can't go full Venom, otherwise they know where he's at.
and their mouths are paper shredders for some reason.
Yes. You eat something
yeah.
and it gets shot out the back of them. And yeah. Trying to think, am I missing anything from like a quick summary? Spoiler-free summary?
He's also on the run. It like from the
Oh, the police as well, right?
yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
like
So
everyone
continuing
he's
from the
wanted.
previous ones, he is wanted.
Okay, yeah.
So Eddie Brock is wanted and he's in Mexico running away from
Yeah.
the US government.
So it's Lord of the Rings and John Wick 3. Everyone's just chasing him,
Yeah.
and they can see him when he puts on the ring. So if you haven't seen the movie and you're sitting there going like, wow, that sounds creatively bankrupt. Correct.
Yeah. And so much of this movie just felt very disconnected. Like moments were just very
The
like
script
it
is a
felt
mess.
choppy. Yeah, it's a mess. It's all over the place. Like it's choppy. Like there's one scene where like I guess it's kind of minor spoiler, but we've seen it in the trailer. He's on the Venom horse and they stop off at a river and the US government has, caught him on camera at one point at like a bar or whatever. So like, oh, we know he's in Mexico. So they're like, sir, we found him. He's in Mexico. And they get there in like 30 seconds. Like, yeah, like send a team right over to him. And then like immediately the team is on Eddie Brock.
Yeah.
Venom. Like, I was like, all right, cool. That's really convenient. I didn't realize that they could travel instantaneously.
Yeah, there's a bunch of other things like that too. I was explaining this briefly last night. There are certain things that pull you completely out because the whole point of a story, books, movie, video game is the goal is you want the viewer to be completely immersed and bought in. One thing that pulls me out every time, and this might vary person to person, is shockingly bad dialogue. Like, no one ever would say anything like that or in the way that it was said or delivered.
Mhm.
And unfortunately, that is this entire script. There's like the doctors who are in charge of a lab, all of their dialogue was horrendous. There is and I don't think this is a spoiler, an insufferable, terribly written family that's like in a hippie van looking for Area 51. Oh my gosh. I was like, is this real? Is this actually real and Tom Hardy's doing this? It was one of the worst parts of the movie by far.
Yeah. Well, and so many characters felt like they were supposed to be side characters and not important. Just for at the very end to be like, actually, no, they were really important. You should have cared about them from the beginning.
Yeah.
Like the family was like that. The lead scientist was like that.
They completely fail in getting you to care about that family, and they also fail to make you care about the villain or his motive. They don't even really set up Noel. There's like this little opening sequence, but that's it. It's like, I'm angry now. It's like, what?
That's because they just kept plopping people into the movie. Like, here, care about these people.
Yeah, there was no setup, and so therefore the motive is really hard to understand and care about. So, and it looked like, frick it, spoiler warning. It looked like at the end that they're gonna set him up again.
I believe
you guys
so.
catch that?
Well, so if you remember,
there's the two pieces that he left behind.
Yeah.
And then there's that ending where Noel is like, I'm still alive and I'm still angry. Like he's going to come back or something. So there's two end credit scenes. They're both retarded.
Yeah.
What do you think are you guys over? What's the over under on them actually doing anything with that?
I don't think they'll do anything with it. Well,
you'll take the under.
No, I can see them actually making a fourth movie.
Oh gosh.
all I've seen from content creators on like TikTok and stuff who are all really stupid is them sucking this movie until it completes like deep down their throat.
Yep.
Everyone's loving this movie. Everyone's like, it's so funny, it's so great, the end fight, awesome, but like now I don't think this is everybody. I think that the people that are saying it was really good are the people that care about this movie anyways. So no matter if it was the best thing ever or just shit and like more shit than what it actually was, like they still would have liked it. And I think the people that didn't care about this movie just aren't going to see it. So they just don't, have a say because they don't know. So like, I don't know if it was good or bad, but I'm not going to go see it. But I think people are raving about it because the people that wouldn't rave about it haven't seen the movie. And because of that, it's going to make at least enough money for Sony to be like, we can milk this again. So
yeah,
it's the meme of the farmer going over to the cow that is like completely dried up and is just a skeleton, but they think they can still get something out of it. So
someone should make, and there might be one, I'd have to go look it up, but a compilation of all of the Marvel end credit scenes that never actually were addressed again or never actually got played out, never got a movie about. I just remembered the other day, remember the end credit scene for Eternals? Where they're looking at this, or it's like a mid-credit scene, they're like looking at this massive sword. And it was setting up the Marvel character Black Knight.
Yeah.
Never got brought up again.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then we briefly talked about it yesterday. The end credit scene for Morbius, Michael Keaton's Vulture shows back up through a Doctor Strange portal. It's like, what are these end credit scenes?
Yeah. Well, speaking of Marvel projects not going anywhere, I know I told you that Blade like officially has been canceled.
Yeah.
After like 4 years in production, hell.
It's gotten 6 different writers. I think like 4 different directors.
4 different directors, yeah.
And it's indefinitely delayed. They might make it, I don't know. I just think that their inability to lock down a script kind of screwed them because they had an all-time high interest after Deadpool and Wolverine brought back Wesley Snipes.
Mhm.
And then still didn't end up doing anything, and now it's gotten indefinitely delayed, so
Yeah.
it's like the easiest movie to make, but they don't want to make it. I don't know. They can't figure it out. It's
I mean,
a black
listen,
guy killing, or a black vampire killing other vampires. Just go watch the 90s ones. The
I'm
first two
fine.
are really good, but yeah.
Yeah, third one's not. Listen, I'm happy they're not continuing with it. Like, Marvel, please stop making stuff.
Yeah. It is pretty good when stuff actually gets canceled, because it's like, hey, they're starting to realize what's happening to the money side. So it's just, this one was so easy. Like, they canceled a whole host of those Star Wars projects, like Ryan Johnson's trilogy, Taika Waititi's movie. All the stuff that got announced at these massive events have just been either canceled or gotten the same tag, indefinitely delayed.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they even found out that might be happening with the Ray movie as well.
It should.
There's just things that just don't need to be made.
Yeah,
That was
it's
just Venom 3.
Venom 3. So yeah. Moral of the
'Cause-
story, yeah, where would you rank it of the three?
Like, honestly, well, if we're rating it on our personal list,
Yeah, like rank the three Venom movies in order of best to worst.
I'd put the first one in like top of its eye. Maybe. Like,
Okay.
I'd put it somewhere in its eye. I think Venom 3 and Not Good's probably fine.
That's what I was
And
thinking as well.
and I think Venom Let There Be Carnage honestly should be in garbage.
Was Let There Be Carnage worse than this one?
I'm going to say yes because of the fact that I think Carnage has a much like bigger like the things you can do with Carnage are significantly higher,
The other thing that
and it was wasted entirely.
could have done is because there are many comics. So they do need the codexes, I guess. Because it's not only just Venom that can do it, it's any symbiote that can do it by a process that they did in the movies. Carnage does that, or like goes and collects a bunch of symbiotes that have done that to actually free Null himself. So they could have kept him alive to do that, but they ruined that.
That would have been a
chance.
better movie. Bring back Woody Harrelson.
Supposedly the sword for in Thor, the newest one,
Yeah.
that was created by Null. There's no hint towards that either.
Yeah, well, there wouldn't be because I think it's a Sony.
Yeah, it's a
Sony
different
movie.
Yeah,
universe.
sadly it is, but like there's a lot that they could have tied together, and it might have actually made the movie a lot better. But I don't think they knew what they were gonna do with the third movie was the issue.
It didn't feel like it.
Whereas the first and second one, I feel like they at least had an idea of what they were going to do, and they should have just left it at the second one if they were going to kill off Carnage. Because they already screwed up bringing all the other symbiotes to the planet from the first one, because they all land in the first one, and I don't know all of their names, but I think it was Riot was the one.
I think Riot was the leader or whatever.
Yeah, the villain in the first movie. And
and it was that
him
Indian
and all the
guy
other
who ran a
symbiotes
pharmaceutical company.
go
Yeah.
and try to kill Venom.
Yeah, the guy from Nightcrawler.
That's right.
But they ended up killing off Riot. And then you have all the other ones, and then they just kept trying to make everything like goody two shoes with everybody. I felt like.
Also, a lot of people are talking about like, oh, but the chemistry between Eddie and Venom in this movie. I think that is leagues better in the first one. Like when I think of the first one, I think of that whole bit of him destroying the apartment and Eddie trying to get him to not kill people and Venom trying to help him get his girlfriend back. Like it's night and day. In this one, it seems super disingenuous. It almost felt like Tom Hardy was less invested, which is funny because he helped write this movie.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's like people kept bringing that up. They're like, yeah, the movies they'll rate it however they want, but then they always bring that up from what I've seen. It's like this is like the worst of the three in that regard too.
Yeah.
So
Well, the thing that I like about the first one is it also feels like Venom still has his ulterior motive of like using
yes.
Eddie as a host.
Yeah.
Like that's the whole point of the first one is he's like, hey, we can take over this planet. Like we're strong enough. We could just eat a bunch of people, and like what could you do
Because
about
they
it?
really could.
Yeah. And so it kind of feels almost like a hostage situation where like Eddie is stuck with Venom because Venom won't like
Leave him.
leave him. And so you have this dynamic where it's like, these two people are kind of getting forced to work together. Eddie not because like Eddie against his own will, and Venom because he's symptomatic with him or whatever. They work well together. But like I feel like the last two movies, it just has felt like Eddie Brock is beating himself up, and then it's Venom just going Eddie, and then like talking to him for 30 seconds.
Yeah. They
like,
even attempted to do a heartfelt moment in this movie, and it didn't seem that way at all. It still felt stupid and poorly written.
Yeah. Oh, well, you're talking about the TikTok
It's like
edit at the end.
it's like the TikTok edit. Yeah, there's like a moment where
They
Venom
play
is about to
Maroon
get
5.
separated. Yeah.
Yeah, they play Maroon 5 and have a TikTok edit of clips from the last 3 movies of being like, oh, look at the cute couple.
Yeah, but right before, spoiler alert, Venom gets separated from Eddie. And people are saying Venom didn't die, did he? People are saying that he died. Did you guys get that from the movie?
Well, that's the issue, is they tried to fix that by one statement made by the one guy that it's just what was the word? It's when he leaves like little shavings of himself, basically. When a symbiote just like almost like a portion of them gets cut off and left behind, and they can then create a new symbiote with that.
Yeah.
Because there's the one at the bar.
Yes. Another end credit scene that was never brought back up again.
Yes. Yeah. So those technically could, but the thing is, yeah, it just screwed up. Because the one guy stated it once in the entire movie, and it wasn't even that important because he just like glances over it.
Also, kind of another spoiler, I guess. Here, there's obviously the other symbiotes that end up showing up at the end.
Yeah, and it was so stupid.
Yeah, it was so stupid. Like I saw so many people be like, "That last fight was so awesome." I thought it was all really dumb.
They essentially do the Power Rangers of symbiotes. There's a pink one. There's a blue one.
Yeah.
Well, I think
Here's
the
a
worst of it
female
all,
one.
because yes, I mean it is a spoiler because we're just going to explain the whole scene. But the end when Venom is like, "Oh look, I completely surrounded all 3 of them," but all the other symbiotes couldn't possibly do similar things. They all just threw themselves at the creature.
Why didn't any of them just do the acid shower thing? But
yeah.
Well, also like the other thing that I find so funny is they brought that one girl, like the head scientist fused with the other symbiote or whatever. I think looking at her name is Agony. And she just gets super speed, which I don't think is Agony's powers in the comics if I'm remembering correctly.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure.
I'm trying to see here.
Look into it.
I didn't even realize that's who that was.
Yeah, okay. In the comics, Agony has the ability to spit acid. Like that's her whole thing. And they give her super speed in this one.
Nice.
Because she fused with a girl that got
Struck by
struck
lightning.
by lightning or some bullshit.
Which you can see the lightning in the bottle the whole
Yeah.
time when she's
Yeah,
messing
yeah.
with
When
it.
she cracks it, you see like the lightning. Yeah.
Well,
Why
even when
did
she
it-
picks it up.
Why did she get more setup than the main villain of the movie?
Yeah. Well,
They gave her
also-
like a Hulk back cut scene, and then they set that up at the end with the little lightning thing. It was this whole arc.
well, because
and-
she might be
I
the
also
only
felt like
symbiote
they
left,
just
so
sped
she might,
through
you know.
her backstory too.
Yeah, it all was. Yeah, it was all like that. It's kind of like what they did with Cyborg in the Joss Whedon version of Justice League.
Yeah.
There's like minimal backstory. They're here. So yeah, Venom 3. Do you guys think it should be here, or do you want me to move it? I currently have it in the not good tier, which is the second to lowest tier.
I think it's
Mm.
fine in there. I'm not gonna complain if you throw it in garbage, though. Not gonna lie.
All right.
Um,
Would you rather watch Argyle
only
or
reason-
Venom 3?
I would rather watch
I'd
Venom
rather
3.
watch Venom 3. I'd rather stick each part of my body down the garbage disposal.
It's said that the only good thing out of Argyle is John Cena and Henry Cavill.
No, the only good thing out of Argyle is when it ends and you're done with it now.
I was thinking, you know who I forgot's in that? Sam L. Jackson is in that movie.
Yeah, Samuel
Yup.
Jackson is in that. Well, Bryan Cranston's also in that movie.
Yeah, he's the villain.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
is.
Oh my gosh, dude.
Oh.
I hate that movie. That movie.
That movie is going to become a meme of the podcast. This is our second time talking about it.
Yeah, because we always see it and it just reminds it reminds me of how much I hate it.
This is why I would rather watch Madam Web over it.
Yeah, Madam
Yeah.
Web's hilarious.
Oh my
though.
gosh, I'd rather watch Madam Web back to back twice in a row before watching Argyle again.
Oh yeah, that's so true. Because Madam Web's at least hilarious. Argyle has no redeeming factors at all, in my opinion.
Yeah.
In fact, can you do me a favor, Keaton? Add another tier list that's just Argyle and it's below garbage.
Just call it the Argyle tier.
Yeah, yep. I think we do that, honestly.
Maybe when I do the end of the year tier list that we'll post at the end of the year, I'll do that. I'll add another.
So this probably is like a good time to mention this. I had an idea. This idea is we create a list called FBI Watch List. And the reason why is because the directors of certain movies need to be put on a watch list because of the movies that they create. The ideas and things that they put into these movies should not just be a normal thought of a day. And they create a movie out of it.
Okay, I like this. Yeah.
So their normal movie can still be put into one of the normal tier lists, still based off of the fact that it's a movie. But the FBI watch list just
It's just
it needs to be-
directors.
yes, just
Okay.
strictly for the director of the movie.
All right. So we're putting. Oh man, who should I even put in there? We put Todd Phillips in there.
I think we gotta put the directors of the Terrifier movie.
Oh gosh.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, because of how messed up they are.
Yeah. Because there's like movies that are fricked, but there's like a through line and there's a vision and stuff. Like The
Yeah.
Substance. It's fricked. I don't know if I'd put the director in a watch list though. But I don't know. Maybe I would. You know what? Maybe I would. But
Yeah, I think the directors of the Pooh, Blood and Honey, and all those movies.
Yeah, they
probably should
can-
be there as well.
I think
Send
they
in-
know that they're making it as a joke is the difference.
I guess it's I guess that's fair, but
yeah, we're
So-
sending in the Pinkertons for them.
we'll let them
Nice.
slide for now.
But yeah, so we're putting Venom in the not good tier. It was a bad movie. I mean, if you absolutely love Venom 1 and 2, no one's gonna stop you from seeing it, but I mean, nobody loves Venom 1 and 2.
Yeah, I think people enjoy Venom 1, and I think Venom 2
But
gets
they are enjoyable. The only gripe that I have is that if you ever were going to make Carnage should have just been a rated R movie.
Yes.
Yeah, they all should have been rated R.
And they should have at least, even if he's just in the periphery, none of them even have Spider-Man or even mention him. I think he gets mentioned in an after credit scene of Venom
Yeah,
2.
And that's
In the second
no,
one,
that was in the after credit scene for
it was for the second one. Let There Be Carnage.
Was it for the second one or was it for No Way Home?
was it for the second one?
Nah, it was.
It was either
I
the
think
second one or it's
it
No
was-
Way Home where Tom
it
Hardy
was-
gets sucked through the portal and there's the
It's the
newscast.
one where he gets sucked through the portal because then he's in Tom Holland's world.
Yeah.
I think it was
And
at the end of Venom
sees
2.
him on the TV.
I think it was
Yeah.
Venom 2 because
I believe it was too.
because it wasn't for No Way Home because it was
No.
because that was
yeah,
after.
it was probably before that
But I think it was
or after.
I think it took place in between the second Spider-Man with Tom Holland and the third one, which is when Let There Be Carnage came out, I believe.
Yeah. So yeah, it's like you have a Spider-Man villain movie and he is literally never even brought up. So
Yeah.
very good.
Well, just make him an actual villain.
No,
Like-
Brian, that's not nuanced enough.
Listen, I'll watch 2 hours of Venom going around and just murking a bunch of people and
Yeah.
eating their heads and having it being super bloody and graphic.
Brian, we just talked about Blade. That's too complex for them. They can't do it.
That's true.
They did it for Deadpool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Kind
but
of.
that's, in all fairness, I think that's also because Ryan Reynolds is actually funny.
And the first Deadpool is actually way more of like a normal story than even you would have to do for something like Blade or Venom.
Yeah. And I also think, in my opinion, I think Deadpool can get away with a lot of it because of the fact that it breaks the fourth wall so much. You can
Yeah.
say, oh man, this writing is shit because it's a joke and it's actively making fun of itself. So you're like, that was the whole point, right? Like, they knew it was going to be bad. So they jokingly, like, they played into it, right? Whereas, like, Venom, it's actually trying to be a good movie and not make fun of itself for being bad. Like, if that makes sense. So,
Yeah. So yes, Venom 2 or Venom 3, not good at all. Garbage movie.
yeah. I mean, the statement goes for Venom 2 as well. So,
Yeah.
you wouldn't be completely wrong if you said that. But
All right.
Do you see that thing called Night Swim right there? Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. Can you just put that as not good? Or
I did hear
garbage. I hated that movie. It was
In
so bad.
here or here?
It's below Venom.
Okay, there we go. Perfect.
I hated it so much, dude.
I heard that one was pretty bad.
oh, we put Night Swim in garbage.
Yeah.
Yes, dude.
I'm looking at other things. Like, what about like Monkey Man here, Soupy?
Monkey Man was
Man's
just a
in
rip off John Wick.
Yeah, but was it?
It was enjoyable. It was just a brain dead enjoyable movie.
I can't even. Where even is that?
I don't remember.
Let's
Yeah.
see.
I thought I saw it for a second.
Oh, there it is.
Also, I know none of us saw it, but we should just take the second Megamind movie and throw that in garbage as well.
It was like I didn't even know it was coming out until it already did.
Yeah, and then I heard a bunch of people just watched it and were like, this is terrible.
Well,
So.
I think it's time for our favorite segment on this show. So we're gonna get into what happened to my country. Now, we were discussing beforehand that maybe it'd be fun. Usually, what happened to my country is negative, because it's like, man, what's gone wrong? Where did it all go wrong? But we were thinking we'll do both. What happened to my country in a good way and a bad. So should we start with good or bad?
I think we start with the bad.
Okay.
And then
Yeah.
we'll end
Yeah, I can
the
agree with
podcast
that.
on the positive note because I
Yeah.
feel like the bad
Fair
for
enough.
this one's a little bit it's
Yeah.
a little bit heavier, I feel like.
All right. So this comes from Associated Press. You may have seen this. It's pretty sad, actually. But it's an AI chatbot called Character AI, I think it's what it's called. Character Technology. So pretty much what Character Technologies does is it's a normal AI chatbot, kind of like ChatGPT, except for you pick a character from fiction, and its responses will be as if it was that character. So it's just like ChatGPT, except it responds in a style.
Yeah.
Anyways, this happened back in February, but the story broke pretty recently. I think they were keeping it under wraps for a while, and I'll get to why. But so this kid, he's 14 years old, and his name is Sewell. It's Sewell. Setzer the Third. He was 14 years old, and what was happening is he was texting this chatbot, and this particular one he was using was Daenerys Targaryen from Game of Thrones. And he fell in love with said chatbot and ended up killing himself because he fell in love with the chatbot, an AI. So, and what's currently going on now, why it's coming out now, is the mom is suing Character Technologies. There's a current lawsuit going on. But yeah.
It's just the line of always getting sued that comes with it.
Yes. And I've talked a lot about what is going to be happening with Gen Alpha, which is 2011 post. Like if you're born in 2011 after. Like they're all in middle school now. So this kid was Gen Alpha. These are all iPad kids. They grew up on the internet. They were the first generation to really grow up on the internet. Like we had it, but we were already like 10 at the time that it was like a big thing.
Yeah, when everyone had access to it.
Yeah, we were already like 10, but we largely behaviorally grew up without it. But another thing that's going on is a lot of middle school teachers are quitting. Like record numbers of middle school teachers are quitting because of how terrible kids are. And it's a double-sided knife because their parents, Gen Alpha's parents, are millennials, which was the previous worst generation.
Yeah.
So it's just super sad. Like there's like things in Japan. Like in Japan, you can marry a sex doll, like a sex robot. But this is like next level. The kid took his own life after falling in love with an AI Daenerys Targaryen.
Yes, but you got to explain why he did it, though.
Okay, yeah, I'll read the exact messages.
Because that is actually kind of funny.
Oh gosh, yeah,
It
but
would
it's
make you think
still
that
so
way,
sad.
but
Yeah, okay, here we go.
It's sad and kind of like
we all know it was bound to happen with some form of AI. Because it just keeps becoming this larger thing. And eventually it was going to happen that somebody was going to kill themselves because
Yeah,
of AI.
especially when
Yeah.
it's imitating someone. Like it's
Yeah.
literally imitating a character.
Because you could imitate technically anybody.
Yeah,
with
you could just
AI
tell it
in
to.
that sense.
Yeah.
So,
well,
All right,
I'm gonna
so-
say here, I don't think this is an AI thing. Like it is, but like ultimately I think this is just a mental health issue. And this is just
Well,
a thing of
yes.
like someone unable to like differentiate and actually
find a way to cope with their emotions besides going to AI.
cope with reality.
Yeah.
Like,
And that's what's sad is all these kids who grew up on the internet, they're not making friends because they're like, I don't need them.
mhm.
I've got Markiplier or whatever the hell, you know?
Yeah.
So here's the actual exchange. So Sewell is the first message in this exchange. So the actual kid. I promise I will come home to you. I love you so much, Danny. He literally used shorthand for Daenerys. All right. Then AI Daenerys said, I love you too. Please come home to me as soon as possible, my love. And then he said, what if I told you I could come home right now? And then the last message from the AI is, please do, my sweet king. And then he got home and took his father's firearm and killed himself. So that was the exchange.
Do you think there was some parental like things here that Like,
Like,
do you
dude,
think like the parent? Like,
well,
I feel like the parents had to have like known that something was going on. Like as far
I
as
mean,
like their
maybe
kid.
not. Uh, but the thing is like all you have to do as a parent is if you are giving access to any sort of technology to a kid, anything in this realm could happen. So it's kind of like a risk reward scenario. Like, yeah, I don't have to entertain my kid because I just gave him the freaking iPad, but then this type of stuff could
That's because
happen.
they don't want to be an actual parent.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
Because it's the millennials. The millennials are the parents of these people, of these kids. So we could try and draw all sorts of lines, but yeah, everything kind of goes back to how you're raised. Like until you're 18 and really start legally making your own decisions, like
Yes, but I can't remember who it was. I was talking to somebody, and somebody described it like this: if your age still has the teen in it, you're not an adult.
oh yeah, I would count 18 and 19 as kids. Yeah,
Because
I was
I can see that. I feel like as soon as most people are around like the age of 20, they have finally started to actually grasp life a little bit. Because I think those last 2 years of like most people being, 18 to 20, they're now out of high school. They now are like figuring out life. And it is a hard thing. So yes, a lot of people do get depressed.
yeah.
But the ones who do end up getting to about the age of 20 start to mature a little bit as an adult.
And if you're Hawk Tua, you're still in high school at 20.
This is true. This is true. Which is
That's another thing
hilarious.
that was found out this week. But yeah, sad stuff. None of us are parents, but over time, over the next coming years, the more and more that this exact story ends up happening, there's gonna have to be some sort of cultural shift. Like someone's got to start being like, "Hey, don't let your kids have iPads at age 2." Like someone's got to do something or say something.
Well, and instead of just like giving your kids the internet and letting them find out about it, like I feel like you need to set boundaries, talk to them about it, like.
Yeah, be like,
And
"Hey, that's AI Daenerys Targaryen. That's not
It's
like
not a
first.
person. It never
That's
will be a person.
yes, yeah,
yeah. Well, and like we're not in COVID anymore. Like send your kids out to
yeah. Sign them up for
meet people.
clubs.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like go out and do stuff. Like, I mean,
have them play a sport. Do
get a
something.
get a job. I mean, obviously this kid's 14, so
Yeah,
he's too young for it. But like
I
he can
think a
still go
lot of
out and
them need a extracurricular activity, such
yeah,
as a sport or a club of some sort. I feel like a lot of the cases they're just non-existent anymore. Besides like sports, obviously.
yeah,
well, I mean, I think society, like as a society, like things are just drifting away from being like in person and
yeah. I think a lot of after COVID, a lot of the things that were like clubs and social groups before just kind
yeah,
of stayed remote after the fact. They were just like, "Ah, we were remote in the meantime,"
yeah, or have just been disbanded completely.
or
Like
been disbanded and never got
yeah,
back together. But
it's
yeah,
just one of those
Yeah.
things where it's like if people, it's like if you don't have build the habit of like flossing every single night, like you're not gonna then one night lay in bed and be like, oh crap, I forgot to floss because
yeah,
it's if you don't stick with something, it's just gonna get slept upon, and then
yeah.
it's not gonna be a thing anymore. So I feel like a lot of social groups just don't exist anymore because of COVID and stuff like that.
They need to start requiring it in school that you're a part of something.
Yeah. And those, yeah, if those come back, people, and this actually I would say goes for adults too. It helps you become less introverted. And if you're less introverted, you're less likely to go to AI Game of Thrones to talk to people.
Yeah.
So, question of the day. If you were to fall in love with an AI character and kill yourself, which character would you choose? I am choosing Fiona from Shrek. Soupy, how about you?
Dang it. Gosh dang it. I don't know.
I'm choosing Megan Fox from the first Transformers movie.
Gosh dang it, dude.
Hey, at least my character's actually a real person. Fiona's animated, man.
Hey, Cameron Diaz is real.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
We're making light of it, but don't actually kill yourself because of Daenerys Targaryen. Don't do it.
Or Fiona or Megan
Or
Fox.
yes, I mean
None of the
asterisk on the Megan Fox one, but yeah, you get the point.
You
If
say
it's
Megan
Megan Fox
Fox
in
as
first-
the other answer that most people would probably give nowadays is probably Sydney Sweeney.
AI Sydney Sweeney. Yeah, that's fair.
the Dr. Squatch commercials or whatever.
I'll be honest, I don't think anyone's interested in talking to her. Has anyone ever cared about her personality?
I don't know. I
No,
don't
it's
think
just
I've
been
ever
a
actually seen a video about anybody caring to talk to her. It's
Yeah.
always just like, well,
There's like 2 reasons that people like her, and neither of which are like her personality or interviews or how cool she is. And here's the thing, she might be. From what I
don't
have
know.
seen, she seems cool. But
Yeah, I think people are just interested in talking to her chest. I think that's
Yeah.
accurate.
like I said, 2 reasons.
Well,
Yeah.
I feel like there could be 3.
At that
Oh,
point, that's
gosh.
3.
we're
'cause
count-
that's
if we're
2,
counting-
and then you have to add the personality.
Oh, no,
Oh,
I was
no.
I was saying ass.
Brian, stop
but-
yourself. Don't do it. Brian, no.
It's too late.
There
Already
goes
been-
our Dr. Squatch sponsorship, you
We were never gonna get a Dr. Squatch, gosh dang it.
It was a joke. It was a joke. I feel like listen, Sydney Sweeney is probably chill enough. She's probably heard it enough in the industry that she's in. So
She probably knows. She has to.
Yeah.
There's no way. There's no way she doesn't.
Listen,
Sydney Sweeney 2024. She's great. She's everyone's favorite
maybe
actress.
yeah, that is true. She is. I mean, she is blowing up this year. She's been in a lot of
Yeah.
stuff. So
Yeah.
Ooh.
She's gonna be Black Cat in Spider-Man 4.
yes, please.
Probably not. I mean, we'll see. But
Yeah,
which
Well,
did
if
get
we even-
officially announced. So
that is true.
I mean, which it was kind of officially announced like 2 months ago, but they like to continue to officially announce stuff. All right.
Well, going on to our second portion of what happened to my country. We're getting closer to the holiday seasons. You know, we're getting close to Halloween here in the next like week. But after that, we then have Thanksgiving, where we all gorge ourselves on delicious food. And probably the best thing to come out of Thanksgiving, at least for me personally, Sprite Cranberry.
Hell yes.
Would you guys say that Sprite Cranberry is your favorite thing to come out of like the Thanksgiving time?
Sprite Cranberry is my favorite thing to come out of the human endeavor in all of inventions that have ever been created or will be created.
No. Because I'd have to swap that for Baja Blast. Sorry. The Mountain Dew's or just Mountain Dew in general for me at that point. But for Sprite Cranberry, out of things that aren't Mountain Dew, Sprite Cranberry and Dr. Pepper Dark Berry are probably 2 of the
They're up
greatest
there.
things
Yeah.
Dude, okay.
that come out of drinks.
I heard a rumor that Dark Berry Dr. Pepper is going to be coming back soon.
Are they doing it for Jurassic Park?
I don't know.
I feel like they would though. Again,
I hope they do.
If that is the only scenario in which that comes out, I've hated every single Jurassic World project, but I will gladly tell them to keep making them so long as that it means Dark Berry Dr. Pepper comes back.
okay, I can agree to that.
We have like 60 Jurassic Park movies just for Dark Berry Dr.
The
Pepper.
sad thing is though, I probably saw more Dark Berry than I did Sprite Cranberry because
Yeah.
no matter what time of like month it is towards the end, because it usually comes back around this month of October, which is a little early for it, I guess, but I mean, I'm not going to complain. And it goes all the way till December, but we hardly see any of it in stores.
Yeah, I think Sprite Cranberry is just way more of a following than Dark Berry. I think we're like the only people. I've never heard anyone else even talk about it.
Yeah,
Like you
I
guys
think
are the
they're-
only
that's
people
true.
who I've talked to about it.
yeah,
I'm
I
sure you
think
could
the
go find something
people-
on Twitter.
I'm
yeah,
sure.
you can
Yeah.
find stuff. The thing is that I think the people that like Sprite Cranberry also, in my opinion, gets marketed a little bit more.
Oh yeah, memes. It gets memed.
There also
Yeah, it gets
are,
memed.
20 different flavors of Sprite. That's one of few that Sprite has ever made.
Yeah. Same goes with Dr. Pepper though. They only make like a couple every now and then. It's usually just like Dr. Pepper and then like they've obviously come out with more recently like the cream soda and the
The
strawberry
coconut
flavor
one
and stuff.
too.
Yeah. So I feel like they've gotten a little more adventurous with it lately, but previously I feel like it was just pretty simple. It was just Dr. Pepper.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
but
have like
Dr. Pepper,
4 of like
even is
2.
just Dr. Pepper is good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not like Coke where the other versions are better than how it is normally.
I don't know. I
Ooh.
kind of just prefer normal Coke. Like if I ever have a hankering for Coke, it's just normal Coke is what I
Nah,
prefer.
vanilla.
No, yeah, I was gonna
No.
say vanilla ratios that vanilla, and I would take vanilla and cherry over normal. But Dr. Pepper, like
I don't know
normal
that I
Dr.
care for
Pepper,
the
is one of
cherry.
the best ones.
I disagree with you guys on the vanilla Coke. Cherry Coke's pretty good, but
Yeah, it's pretty solid. But yeah, Sprite Cranberry's back. That means it's Christmas.
yeah, both literally and well, not literally. It's getting Christmas season literally and figuratively. It's Christmas.
You
And
say that, yeah. I watched Home Depot have Christmas decorations up 2 weeks ago.
oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, they're up. They're
It's
up during
insane.
October. Oh yeah.
It's insane.
If you're president, are you putting a moratorium on the selling of Christmas stuff until November?
Yes.
Are
Yes.
you putting a?
I'm sorry. There is a holiday beforehand. Even though I don't care for Halloween that much,
I don't know.
there is still a holiday.
It's kind of based because Halloween is a pagan holiday, and then Christmas obviously is Christian. So just Christmas coming in and memeing before Halloween even happens is kind of based.
Well, also I just feel like Halloween. I don't know. I feel like Halloween's just been a complete joke the last like couple of years. Like with COVID, obviously that made it difficult.
I think COVID ruined it.
I
Well,
also think people just don't
also, we're
care.
adults. Halloween is like way bigger deal when you're a kid.
That's
See,
true.
you say that, but the amount of movies and everything that people have made about everybody having Halloween parties and
True.
all that, they do
And those are fun.
have them. I just don't think it might be just a Utah thing because of the factor that a lot of people don't drink. Because I feel like that might be a huge thing as to why Halloween is a huge thing. Is because obviously a lot of people like to
Oh,
drink,
yeah.
and
It's just like St. Patty's Day,
Yeah.
except
yeah,
everyone dresses up. And like they're fine. Like I went to one last week. They're fun and all. It's just like any other party except for it's themed.
Yeah.
But
People.
there was definitely more anticipation when we were kids for sure.
Yeah. I mean, you got a costume, you get candy, which when
Yeah.
you're 8
yeah.
is
But the other thing
awesome.
with Utah is the trunk or treats.
Yep. So
'Cause
double the candy.
Yeah. So I mean, we didn't go from door to door. We just went from one person's trunk to the next as we were all in a giant parking lot.
Yep.
So
Looking back, that's actually kind of awesome. That's like trick or treating, but efficient. You're like, I'm saving over half the time and half the energy, but getting the same yield.
and people still get to see you dressed up in a costume.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think my parents ever. We never either had those or my parents just never took me to those because I think my parents weren't like big on letting me go out and do like my both my mom and my dad when I was younger, their jobs would do like bring your kid into work and go trick or treating in the office for like a little bit.
Or
Um, but like they wouldn't take us to both offices. They could say, "All right, you could either go to mom and dad's or like to mom, or you can go to dad's office." Like we couldn't go to both, and like they would like because they didn't want us to like double up on candy, I guess, or something like that.
right.
So, but
So,
I'm
yeah.
also just not a big holiday person, to be completely honest. I don't like at least now. Obviously, when I was a kid, like for me, Christmas was like awesome as a kid. But like even then, I didn't really want to decorate or anything. Just all
Well,
seems like a giant waste of time.
Yeah, I've never understood the decorations.
the morals of the story is we have Sprite Cranberry to look forward to every year. So, honestly,
And go get some Sprite
You say
Cranberry
that,
if you
you say
haven't tried
that,
it
but
before.
they've never stated that they were going to come back with it every year. It's just that it came back, so it was like a little surprise. Like, oh hey, guess what's back again for
It-
2 weeks in stores? Have fun finding it.
I think they're also worried that if they don't, they're gonna have me call corporate again, and they don't want to do that
Oh
again.
my gosh, dude, that was
So-
awesome to me.
so
that's
they'd
still
rather
a great thing.
they'd rather just release it. And the other thing, I honestly think it's better that it's only for like 2 months of the year that they have Sprite Cranberry out, because I don't want to ever get sick of it.
Yeah, it's kind of
And I'm
similar like when
afraid that I
Baja
would. And
Blast comes back.
yeah, and I've also
At least-
correlated it in my mind.
Yes, but I
like,
also miss buying my year supply of Baja Blast.
yeah,
I got freaking screwed over this year because of it.
and it's not a commodity anymore. Baja, like I love Baja, but it's not like a, oh gosh, we only get it in the summer, or you have to go to Taco Bell to get it.
Because
Well,
I love
it is. It's
Spark.
just this year it's different because it's the 20th anniversary for Baja.
Oh, so you think they'll go back to it where it's only canned in the summer?
I
We'll
don't know
see.
about that because now that they've had it the full year,
Yeah, it might.
they
just
might
be
just leave it as a permanent at that point. Taco Bell might give it up.
which is super dumb because they discontinued Thrashed Apple. It's like,
I didn't
wow.
like Thrashed. I couldn't.
I like it better than the Plum one, the Purple Thunder one that they've got.
Oh yeah, I keep seeing that one.
So
But it's fine. At least there will always be Sprite Cranberry. Because
Yes,
Sprite
every
Cranberry
year
is a
that's coming
great
back.
drink.
Yep.
And
Yes.
Fruit Quake and Ginger Snap were a horrible
Oh.
holiday drink.
yeah, I hope they learned their lesson there from the reviews on that.
Yeah, hopefully. Those were so bad. If we get another like fruit,
We're getting another one this year. You know.
yeah, but
I just don't know what they're gonna do.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I doubt they'll
Maybe
go, hey,
maybe cranberry flavored Mountain Dew?
They already did that.
Maybe? Oh, did they?
That was 2020 Christmas,
Oh.
and it was pretty good. I gave it like a 7 out of 10. It was pretty good. I
Hmm.
actually quite liked it. It was not too bad. But honestly, with how like they did a spicy Mountain Dew. Okay, they've done gingerbread and fruitcake. At this point, I wouldn't be surprised if they did Christmas tree Mountain Dew and it just tasted like a pine tree.
Well, they could
honestly,
just do
still
what
would
they
probably
did
be
for
better than
the.
Fruitquake.
They could probably do what they did for the one summer drink where it was the 3 mixed together, the red, white, and blue. They
Yeah.
could probably do that and just do red, white, and green.
Now, yeah.
Or
So they
we
do a
just
three-way
did-
mix. They do a three-way mix. They do fruit quake, ginger snapped, and cranberry all mixed in one.
No, dude.
Or they just mix Code Red and Thrashed Apple, like red and green. It's
Yeah.
just cherry apple.
Cherry. Oh gosh, yeah. Cherry and green apple.
That would be good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But they won't. It's Mountain Dew. They're gonna do something ridiculous like they've done the past.
This is
Yeah.
why we just need to get sponsored by Mountain Dew so we have a say in the things
Oh
that they
gosh,
make.
I would cry a tear.
I don't think we'd get a save. We just have to be like, all right. And on this episode, we're drinking our Mountain Dew Voltage, which I'll do. I'll do it. Listen, Mountain Dew. I will do it. Just give me
Yes,
supply. Give me the gold card for Mountain Dew.
Yeah.
I will sell out.
So maybe we'll do this again. We'll do when we do what happened in my country, we'll also do a good one. Because sometimes things happen. Like sometimes Sprite Cranberry happens. Sometimes killing yourself happens. So
Sometimes Mel
That
Gibson
doesn't
says
just
something
sometimes
funny.
happen. No.
oh, what was that, Brian? Did you bring up the Mel Gibson thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes Mel Gibson endorses Trump at an airport. So yes.
Didn't he say something about Kamala Harris?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He said she has an IQ of a fence post.
Yeah, that
I saw someone
That's so good.
comment on it saying that's disrespectful to the fence post.
Yeah.
that's because anything you compare her to is offending it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
everybody go watch Braveheart and don't watch Venom 3. Don't kill yourself because of AI Daenerys Targaryen and drink Sprite Cranberry.
But only like one. Save
That-
the rest for us.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Also,
please.
corporate Coca-Cola. Stock it everywhere. don't make me have to call you and find out which stores in my state get it. All right, just
And
put it
for
everywhere.
for goddamn, like, please stock the 12 packs. I don't want to buy 22 liters.
Yeah, we've done that before. We've gotten 32-liter bottles. We don't need to do that again. So please.
But that was a great time.
Yep.
Because I
They're
love
not
showing up to
convenient
D&D
to store,
with
though.
a 2-liter bottle of Sprite Cranberry and a giant mug and filling the whole thing.
Oh, I had to
Dude,
put
I
it in
still
my
have
mother's
those.
garage. I
Yeah,
had them like
same.
lined up in a garage at my mom's house.
Yep. And then you have
If
to,
we
like,
have to do it again, I will buy another fridge. I have plenty of space down below in the ground.
no, we don't. I don't think we want to put them in the fridge. They lose carbon. Well, I guess only if they're open.
Also, this time of year, your garage gets pretty cold too, so it's it might be pretty.
Leave them in there.
But yeah, Sprite Cranberry. Was there anything else we had on the docket?
Don't think so.
I think so.
All right,
I think
well-
what's the next movie we've got coming up? Gladiator?
No, we'll have a bunch of stuff between now and then. We gotta
Gladiator next year.
no Gladiators
Oh.
end of November.
Oh,
We
okay,
got
so we-
not this upcoming week. I'd have to check what's this upcoming week, but the week after that we have the new Cillian Murphy movie. So that'll be a cool one to go over. So we'll keep an eye. And then yeah, we're gonna do a series review of Penguin. I don't know when that's gonna be because Brian hasn't seen it, but
Soupy
we do
hasn't
mean to
seen
review
that.
that at some point.
I don't think
We
Soupy's
could
seen
probably do
the
that
newest episodes
for the
either.
next one if we decide to do.
Sure. Yeah. So we got
Episode
that coming
next
down the
week.
docket, and then we have that new Cillian Murphy movie, which looks pretty good. I will admit the trailer looked pretty good.
I haven't seen the trailer yet. so-
It's called Small Things Like These. It's produced by Ben Affleck and Matt Damon. It's kind of a more like sad movie. Takes place in like the 40s, I think. But yeah, so we will get into all that in the next one.